Mina Aisatus Sise, and today the camera there na senior police officers meskin Tom concerning the GPS where the Sierra Leone police they can launch and also they can install them na some vehicles them na the western area division. As we did at the compound now, na for know the reason we make them decide for installing GPS there so and also how this go important for the police.
The Executive Management Board, I want to welcome you all to this program. Of course, my task here this afternoon is to introduce the chairman of this particular program. From there, we continue the rest of the engagement. The chairman is an academician, is a seasoned police officer. He has worked in various disciplines within the rank and file of the SLP. He's no less the president, but director of training is AIG Mr. Sylvester N. Kuruma. Sir, I give the mic to you and pause for further directives, sir. Most grateful.
Thank you, Deputy Media. The Inspector General of Police, Deputy Inspector General of Police, colleague AIGs, distinguished LECs and operations officers, let me on behalf of IG and team heartily welcome you to this epoch-making ceremony in the SLP. We are here today to see another milestone. It's a milestone because it's part of the innovations that the IG is bringing to play in the police. As you all know, this leadership is bent on delivering new things all the time. From training perspective, I know that you are aware about the numerous trainings that is being undertaken, and this is another part of what he calls his capacity building endeavors. Today, we'll have somebody who will come to tell you the purpose of why we are here, but I just quickly want to take you through what the program is going to be like. Like I said, somebody will declare the purpose of why we are here. After that, we have brief statements. Our IT officer will give you a rundown of how this project has come. After that, the DIG will say a brief statement as well. Now, of course, we can have the keynote address from the IGP himself. After that, he has gracefully consented to have photo session, especially with TLECs and your ops officers. Then we can take interviews, a very brief one at that as well, because IG is busy, we have to run back to office. So without much ado, let me call upon the Director of Support Services, Commissioner Hilary Salcano, to give us the purpose of why we are here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director of Training, AIG Sylvester Kroma, IGP, DIG, Directors, LUCs, members of the Fourth Estate, colleagues all, good afternoon. My own duty here this afternoon is to tell you simple purpose why we are gathered here this afternoon. As you can all see, for example, we have the media team. They're here to get information from us, to send it to the public quickly, and that is all being done through technology. And that is why the Sierra Leone Police also wants to increase their activities through technology. And they also want to live according to international standards. And that is why the IGP, in his wisdom, have tried by all means for us to live by that. So it is simple. The reason why we are here is it's a clear manifestation of technology improvement, and that is to have our vehicles have installation on our vehicles, tracking installations. And this is, by the way, to improve our response time, and it is also for us to have, the public to have full confidence on the police. And because if our response time is very poor to respond to critical issues, then there is a problem. But if our response time is very swift to critical issues like a criminal act or incidences, then our confidence will be built again between us and the civil populace. And that is why we thought it fit, the IG thought it fit, that we should have our vehicles have these technological instruments fixed on our vehicles, so that one, our vehicles will be there to respond to critical incidents in a very short possible time. And how do we do this? It is not that if, for example, the central police vehicle, if there is a call at Godrich and central police vehicle is along Godrich, then the central police vehicle will quickly respond to that issue before asking if the Godrich vehicle is not by or is not close to the incident point, then whichever vehicle which is close to that incident point will respond to that incident. So that is why we are going to track all our operational vehicles so that they can be responding to each and every vehicles accordingly and accurately. So that is why we are here today, to get all our operational vehicles being tracked by the gadgets that are in place. I want to thank you very much.
Let's give the Director of Support a big hand. Thank you for letting us know why we are here. Well, she has let us know that by the wisdom of the IGP, he wants us to efficiently manage our very limited resources. We all know the challenges we have in terms of how we can respond to incidences, and we all know the impact that will have on us. The more we reduce our response time to calls that we have, the more we become appreciated by the public. The longer time we take to respond to issues, to distress calls, the more we distance ourselves, we lose the confidence and legitimacy of the public. So what we are here to see this afternoon is what will make our work better. And this is going to be by ways of tracking the vehicles that we have, so that we don't unnecessarily put our vehicles into private use. And we have to know, commanders, especially LDCs and operations officers, that the device is not to limit your freedom. You have your freedoms, but just don't use what is for the police job. These vehicles are meant for police job. We want to ensure that they are properly utilized for police duties. You want to go on to a personal visit, you can use your personal vehicles, you can use other means. So please, we employ you to accept this as a way of making us better. So having said that, it's now my pleasure to call upon ASP Bio, our IT officer, to give us a brief overview of how this project was initiated and how far we are with it today. David, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Inspector General of Police, members of the EMB, good afternoon. Permit me to stand on existing protocols. I must say, this afternoon, I am the most happiest man because this project falls under my department, and I am actually the executor of the project. It is the vision of the Inspector General of Police to enhance police responsiveness on how we answer distress calls, how our operational vehicles are being utilized, and how we improve the public confidence in the Sierra Leone police. So, like what the chairman just said, the GPS is not to limit the operations of the LUCs or the operational officers, but it's rather a way of enhancing your capability. Because what we are doing now, or what we are doing today, is to install a GPS device, which simply means, even if you are supposed to cover Gorage, but if unfortunately your vehicle is not around Gorage area, and there is another operational vehicle very close to Gorage, that operational vehicle can actually cover your job, cover up for you. That is exactly what we are doing today. So today we installing the GPS. When the Inspector General of Police came into office, he's a man who is very much particular about results. He doesn't want just people telling him, I patrolled the whole of Freetown yesterday, I patrolled the whole of Lumley. He wants to see results. If you patrol Lumley, he wants to see all of the areas you cover within the Lumley vicinity. If it was Gorage, he wants to actually see all of the areas you cover within the Gorage vicinity. So, one of the tasks he gave me as the IT officer was to map out a way how we actually track our operational vehicles, get details of their movement, and see how much they covered within their AOR. For others, the AOR actually means area of responsibility. So we brilliantly came up with a GPS vehicle tracking system, which we will be installing on all police vehicles within the Western area, and by extension, the regional areas as we go by. This is to actually give us an overview of what our operational vehicles are doing during the day, both during the day and at night. This GPS system is going to allow us to actually get a full control of our vehicles, where our vehicles are, how much time you spend at a particular locations, and what exactly are the results what are the results, the benefits the police is gaining. Whether you are using the vehicle for the purpose of the police or you are using the vehicle for your personal gain, this GPS system is actually going to tell us remotely. So, today, we'll be installing all of the devices, and we have the GPS platform installed at the police headquarters, where we can actually sit and look at where a particular vehicle is at a particular time. Again, one important thing I want to explain here is how we respond, how we collaborate with these operational vehicles. Of course, the police already have a phone number called 900, and this is what we want to send to the public very strongly, that the 900 number is for public distress calls. If you have been attacked, we are actually working on how we get the Orange and other mobile network to give us this same 900 platform. But at the moment, actually, it works with AfriCell, wherein you can call the control hub, which is going to be at the police headquarters, and the control hub will actually ask you 3 questions. We'll ask you probably your location, the crime, what is the incident, what is happening at the scene, and giving us those details. We'll be providing every operational vehicle. I repeat, it's the vehicle, not the operational officers. We'll be providing every operational vehicle a mobile phone. That mobile phone is going to be a CUG, where we'll contact you at any given time to respond to incidents. So what that means is the phone is not an individual phone, meaning the phone has to remain in the vehicle at all time, at all cost. The phone must be in the vehicle at all time, at all cost. When the control center, which happens to be police headquarters, receive a distress call, for instance, for let's say Ross Road, we actually have to look from our system immediately, log that distress call as an action point, and contact the nearest police vehicle around that area. So that is why we want to encourage all operational officers that you must be always be by the phone. And the phone must always be on ringing. Don't let your phone on silent so we call and call and call and we don't get you. Because one of the key reasons we are implementing this GPS system, we all know we are moving very close to the festive season. The election is very, very close, of course, and the demand for police is going to be very high. And that means our responsiveness has to be very swift and timely. So which means if we call a particular operational vehicle and you could not answer your call, it's going to be a serious crime for the operation officer on duty at that period. Of course, we will have a detailed report every day submitted to the Inspector General of Police for his view, and probably for issues, for areas that are not covered, operational vehicles that are not being used. Accordingly, you have to come and explain directly. So that is how this whole system is going to work. We'll be providing you a CUG phone, as I said earlier. That CUG phone has to be within the vehicle. If you are changing shifts from shift A to shift B, you ensure you hand over the phone to the commander taking over the shift, the next shift. So the commander will always be ready to pick emergency calls. So today we'll be installing the devices for Western area. And we'll be giving you all the numbers, the CUGs. You can as well contact the emergency, the command center at police headquarters. We're going to give you the call center's number. If you have been attacked or there is an incident and you need another additional patrol team, we'll get the patrol team in touch and we'll make them available immediately. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is just what we are here today to actually execute by the wisdom of the Inspector General of Police. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ASP David Bayo, for that overview and for letting us know how leveraging technology is going to help what we do. And I think this is going to professionalize us. So let's give him a big hand of applause again. We all know our DIG is coming back home from serving the African Union. I was telling some American guys who are helping us with some trading support, I say, please do not hesitate to invest in us. Because many years ago, some other countries invested in us, and today we are paying the price by serving humanity in various missions across the world. So our DIG is just coming home from serving humanity in the African Union peacekeeping mission in Somalia. And we are happy that he's returning home as the ex-wild commissioner of that mission. That means he was the police chief there. So let's welcome him at this occasion, and let's hear a brief statement in support of what we are doing again, and maybe share a few moments with us with regards to what has been happening in Somalia. Thank you, sir. DIG, can we hear from you a moment?
My able Inspector General of Police, my boss, directors, LUCs, members of the 4th Estate, police officers present, constables, good afternoon. I'm just coming from Mogadishu, and when they say Mogadishu, you know what that means. Terrorist attack is common, prevalent. You see a lot of dead bodies per day. If you are not used to it, to eat meat will be a problem for you. And thank God, I performed my duty. I went as a passenger. I came back as a passenger. Some of our colleagues, we are not fortunate. They went as passengers, but they came as cargo. All you have to trust in God. because your own protection cannot save you. It is only God that will save you. I have a pathetic story. There is one thing, if you are not destined to die, you will not die. Your protection cannot save you. I went to Addis Ababa to collect my passport. On the day I was to come, they tested me and they said, sorry, you cannot travel. You are COVID positive. I have to stay for another week. After the week, I went there again. They said, your result is inconclusive. They have to observe me again for another 3 days. Finally, I was released to go. But the most interesting part, I want to tell you. During the course of my stay, I thought, how can I stay here? The place is cold. I did not go with sufficient money. How am I going to survive? I kept up praying. During the course of my stay in the Addis, they attacked our base camp. Mortars were launched. My office was destroyed. Had I been in Mogadishu, perhaps, who knows? I will have come as a cargo. But that besides. So whatever happens to you, say thanks to God. Don't blame anybody. In Mogadishu, we have a control room. There are 3 components in Mogadishu. You have the military components. They are responsible for the fighting. They fight Al-Shabaab. We have nothing to do with Al-Shabaab except to hear about them. You have the police components. Of the police components, there are 3 aspects of the policing. You have the contractors. That is the senior leadership team. We are the contractors. We are supposed to be 7, but 2 of them died. Only 5 of us were there. Then you have the IPOs, individual police officers, 39 of them. Then we have FPU, Form Police Units, 1 Form Police Unit comprising 160 personnel. They are the armor wing. They do operational duties, they escort, and they do joint operations with the Somali police force. We have an operation room. Wherever you are in that compound, you think they are not seeing you. They have CCTV fixed all over. So whichever part you are, they will see you. So that is how we monitor our borders, our perimeter fences. We monitor them. You can monitor as far as 1 or 2 miles away from our base camp. So whatever is happening, if you are in the control room, even if Al-Shabaab attacks in Mogadishu town, you will be able to monitor them. So that is the essence of this. Our vehicles are not fixed with GPS, like it's an improvement, like this our police are doing now. Yes. The importance of that GPS, when you are going, if you are under attack, you will be able to communicate. They will know your location. So you are safe with the GPS. I know some people will not be happy. Why are they monitoring me? It is good they monitor you. 1, to protect our vehicles. Some people, instead of being in town here, to be doing patrolling, you see them behind Waterloo. With this GPS, you will not try it. They will track you down. In Darfur, it was very, very good. You cannot move your vehicle without using your driving permit. If you don't swipe the ignition, whichever type of key you use, you will not be able to start your vehicle. And the moment you swipe your card, all your particulars is registered at the transport headquarters. If you are over speeding, they will alert you. You will hear beeping sounds. That shows you are over speeding. for which they will call you to transport headquarters for explanation. You will be investigated. So the vehicles here are relatively safe as compared to Amazon. We don't have that facility. Now, charity begins at home. If we are running after private commercial vehicles, our drivers also, our police drivers also should be monitored. We have seen instances where people, instead of going to where they are sent, they go, and later, because they are overspeeding, returning, they are involved in road accidents. To avoid all that one, really, I'm happy for the initiative the Inspector General has taken by installing this GPS in our vehicles. Traffic, they have made your duty very, very light. So instead of involving our police vehicles, involving the series of accidents, I think this one will caution them. So Inspector General, I want to thank you very much for the good initiative. Drivers that are driving these GPS vehicles, yes, your one leg is within the police, your other leg is outside the police. The choice is yours. If you want to be sacked, yes. Go to destinations that you are not assigned to. When they give you a vehicle, go for patrols. You leave here, you go to Maishaka. You want to come back quick. You want to use the vehicle other than its purpose. You want to take passengers. The choice is yours. Some of us have children, we have relatives we are responsible for. So, if you allow yourself to be kicked out of the police, then the choice is yours. So, be careful when you are using these vehicles. The vehicles are very, very expensive, especially when you want to maintain them. The spares are not easy to come by. It costs a lot of money. So please, my appeal to you is, please don't use the vehicle other than its purpose. Use it judiciously. Use it for the purpose for which it is intended. Please, I want to thank you all.
Let's make it bigger for DIG. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, DIG, for giving us that very good experience in terms of what obtains in the mission, and for giving some words of caution to us drivers. So he says the choice is us, it's ours. If you want to continue being in the police, then take care of what you have. If you become reckless, then it means you can go out. The choice is yours. Now I've come to the highlight of this business by now patiently sitting down and let's listen to the Inspector General of Police, the man whose initiative we are seeing in real time, the man who is providing a leadership that makes us dynamic. Don't forget, some of us who were around when we charted out the mission statement of the SLP in 1998, that was one thing we oblige ourselves to doing, that we will make ourselves to be dynamically led. And this is dynamic leadership. Leadership that will look into the future, project into what he can do for us to make us better. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we now invite the Inspector General of Police to give his keynote address. Thank you very much, sir.
The DIG directors support traffic and training, officers, men and women of the Sierra Leone Police here present, members of the 4th Estate, good afternoon. Today is a very important day, the history of the Sierra Leone Police, because we are moving our organization forward. Forward in the sense that we are going to use technology in our daily operations. Of course, seated here for the past couple of minutes, it is clear on our minds why we are here today. We are here today for us to re-echo, to witness the formal launching of tracking system of our vehicles. Our vehicles, we've tried in the past to track our vehicles, but we have not been very successful. So try and fail is no disgrace. We are motivated to keep trying. That is why this time we are trying again. We are trying on a new platform, on a different platform. We've had several projects in the past, like the Safe City project, which was actually about installing a couple of cameras around the city so that we can monitor what is happening in the city at a particular point. We went halfway through that one and we were able to set up a situation room where we can watch everything sitting in one place. We had that chance to watch events of August 10 as they unfolded within a room at police headquarters. So we have said to ourselves, this leadership is one that is involving everybody. We are drawing upon the experiences of everybody in the senior leadership cadre so that we can see how we can move the SLP forward. Yes, what is common is the ideas can come from one person and all of you refresh the ideas, you polish it, and then it's coming out like what we are going to see today. It is simply the launching of the tracking system for our vehicles. We realized, of course, before even August 10, when some of us were AIGs, all of us sit around this table, we were put through the task of having to be patrol supervisors at night. In our time, when we were local unit commanders, we never had AIGs going to patrol in the night. It was only when, in the most recent past, that we saw ourselves. Now, instead of going to rest, you work for the whole day in the office, and at night, you are going back to supervise divisions which have local unit commanders, which have senior officers as LUCs also. To us, it was not good for us. It was very demeaning for all of us as AIGs to go and patrol. In our time, the late Chris Charlie, the late Cisco, SIS Kurma, they never patrol. They will sit in their homes, we'll give them updates on what we are doing. So we looked at it, we said it was not good for us. And that's why we said we have to take action. We have to make something happen. The essence of this exercise we are going to see today is we are going to place more responsibility in the hands of the LUCs and the operations officers. Because this one is a huge investment. It's a huge investment, and we don't intend to see ourselves putting in such a huge sum of money for nothing. We want to have value for the money we are going to spend. That is why, like the Director of Training said, it is the responsibility of you LUCs. That's why I said specifically you have to be here to witness this one, because I'm going to entrust the success of this project into your hands. I'm going to quote His Excellency the President when he said, when you want to fight corruption, corruption fights back. We are trying to bring something new. I know some people, like my colleague said, they don't want it that way, and they are going to fight back. But let me assure you, if you want to fight back, you are going to lose, because we will take you out of this job. For spoiling a system we are going to invest hugely in. It's a simple system. We are going to be tracking your vehicles, like the IT man has said. We have the platform at police headquarters. It is set up already. From there, we look at your vehicle. It's going to start effective just as they finish installing the trackers, the system starts to work. We've done the deployment. We have the personnel who are going to be sitting in that operation room or situation room to monitor the movement of your vehicles, so that you are not packaged your vehicle for the whole night and you are telling us in the morning the right patrol report, I patrolled. No. This time it's going to be live. And what's going to be additional impetus in this system is that it's going to be in my phone, it's going to be in the phone of the Deputy Inspector General, and it's going to be in the phone of all the senior officers at headquarters. So we can be tracking, everybody can be tracking. If I'm sleeping, Director of Training can be tracking, Director of Traffic Management can be tracking. We are going to put you on your toes, you the LUCs, we are going to put you on your toes. When we were doing patrols in this city, recently, in the days of my predecessor, or even recently after August 10, sometimes you are going to stations 10 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning, you find the vehicles are packed. Those days are gone. Effective today, that is over. You park your vehicle for the whole night, we'll step you aside, and somebody else who can drive you for the whole night will go in there to make sure it's being driven. Additionally, we want to make you to assume more responsibility for the safety and security of your respective divisions. Most times, when you are driving around this town, you go to Kisi, you find a vehicle for Godrich at Kisi. You find a vehicle for Aberdeen at Kisi, fine. In the past, it was acceptable, but effective today is not acceptable anymore. Take responsibility. We have divisional boundaries. Make sure you provide the security for the people in your division. Don't go and overkick in somebody else's division. No, don't go to Kisi because you have the quarry, you have the oil terminal. Don't go there. Don't leave Godrich to come to Garrison Street because there you can arrest commercial sex workers and take money from them. No. We want to see you operating in your own divisions. And mind you, it's not only going to be for night activities, but also during the day. Those vehicles, most of them, if you look at them, they have inscriptions, upgun. Those are the places they are supposed to be patrolling. But most times, you find them parked in police stations. You are not buying fuel, you are not buying spares. It's our responsibility. That's the responsibility of senior management to make sure those vehicles are up and running. So the issue of fuel is not your problem. The issue of spares is not your problem. I'm not saying you should drive the vehicles with such recklessness that you are going to incur losses on the organization by breaking down some of the parts. No. But we are saying, effective this day, the 10th day of November 2022, we are giving you extra responsibility. You LUCs and the ops officers. That's why I said you have to be here. You have to be here when we are installing the system. We have to give it to you. We've purchased the phones for all the vehicles, including the 2 regional headquarter vehicles. We are going to give them phones with toll-free numbers. So those numbers, we are going to really set up a perfect system. Every vehicle, we have the inventory of all the phones in the system, including the control room, so that when something is happening in your division, you are not going to tell us you are not there, you are at Kisi doing what. So now is the time for you to go back to the drawing board to look at your divisional boundaries. Know your limits. There's a group, musical group they call Know Your Limits. So now it's time for you, LECs, ops officers, to know your limits. So if you have been used to going to Quarry, Kisi to go and look for fuel, now it is over. You cannot go there. If you are going there, you have to tell us. Because every step you take, we are going to be tracking the vehicles to know where you are at any particular point in time. So this is a wake-up call for you to reorient your maps, to change the mindset that yes, it is not business as usual. This time we are serious about it. And those of you who might be tempted to destroy the trackers, any tracker which is destroyed in that vehicle, the LUC and the ops officer will stand them aside and you have to replace that tracker 5 times. You have to buy it 5 times. That one is clear. It is what I'm saying as a policy statement. If you destroy the tracker, you buy it 5 times before you can get back into that office. If you don't buy it, you are stepping out for good. So we have a responsibility. Our responsibility, amongst others, includes safety and security of the people we are policing. So this one is an opportunity for us to increase that commitment in you to providing this safety and security for the people we are policing. It's not always good. Some of us, you don't go to those meetings which we attend. Most times we are going to meetings, we are embarrassed. We are embarrassed because of what we are doing, all of us. Because if something goes wrong in the police, all of us, we share the credit, we share the blame. But we have said to ourselves at the senior management level that yes, we have to make people become more responsible. Everybody, the law says everybody is responsible for the probable and natural consequences of his own act. So we want you to be responsible for what is going wrong in your own division. We want you to be responsible for what's going on in your own team site or whatever you may call it. So this one is a huge investment, like I said, and this is just the pilot phase of the investment. When it works well, we hope to replicate the same program across the country so that I can be sitting in my home in Freetown, I can track the movement of the police vehicle in Bo, in Kenema. 10 days from now, we are going to receive 25 brand new vehicles. That is government's own commitment to the SLP. So I want to especially thank His Excellency for making that strong support, for showing that support to the system. He is like that because he is himself a security man. Somebody who has risen to the ranks of a brigadier, he knows very well what security is. So he gave executive orders for those vehicles to be procured. They have been procured, they are in the ICs. 10 days from now, they will bath at the key and they will clear them. Basically, what we'll have to do is just to transfer these trackers, or maybe we install new trackers in the system. But going forward, let us don't forget that we are competing. We are competing with other ministries, departments, and agencies. And government is operating a result-based policy. If you have children, 2 children, the one is not passing exams and the one is passing, which one do you support? The one who is passing exams. So if government is spending so much money on us and we are not getting the results we want. It becomes difficult for us. That's why, for example, we've said 2 weeks ago, I said, LUC's operations officers, step up your operations, intensify the raid on drug cartels, with special focus on those who are selling the drugs. Drugs is becoming an issue in this country. I've said you have to go all out. All of us sitting down there, we are policemen, operation officers. You know all of those places where drugs are sold in your divisions. So it's either by design or by default. We are failing to act, but we are going to look at that one also because we are tracking also. We are tracking your activities with respect to those pronouncements. Thank God, the Director of Corporate Affairs, AIG Memuna, she took her time 2 weeks ago. She went around the country to bring you close to the Strategic Development Plan, a document some of us we have never seen before, only in this time. So that's a document which is the roadmap of the SLP. Where do we want to go in the next 3 years? It spans from 2021 to 2024. This is 2022. Because we are not using the document, we had always been doing what we call firefighting. We want to move away from firefighting. There are some actions. The action plan, if you look at the action plan of the SLP, for example, for 2022, the things that are in there, the things which we are supposed to be doing, if we have been doing them, we will not be doing firefighting. So now we've taken all of you through it, especially members of the TCG. Yes, come and see what is your commitment. And now we are going to hold you responsible. You are Ops officer, you are OSD coordinator, you are IS coordinator, you are FSU coordinator, everybody in the TCG. Sitting on that TCG, you have something to do. You, the LUCs, you are the head of that parliament, that cabinet. The TCG is your cabinet. Your job is to task people, ask them to do something for you, task them. That's why they call it tasking and coordinating group. That is all. It's nothing. It's like in my own case, I'm sitting with AIGs, some of them who have more experience than I have, but all of us, what to do, we are tasking each other. Everybody has a portfolio. So if I have a task on my desk, I receive huge chunk of letters every day. In the morning, I redirect them to directors. Act on this one. The director will redirect that one to the LEC or to the regional commander. That's how the system works. A system, they say there is a paradigm which says the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Synergy, all of us working together. So that's how we have to be looking like moving forward from this point. Like all of us are fully aware, we are moving on to elections. And elections are a very critical period for all of us. And for us as police, we have the responsibility to validate the process, to justify the process. We provide the security for the process. And moving forward, December, January, that is going to engage us fully. And that is why I've said to my senior colleagues, when the vehicles arrive on the 18th of this month, we are going to give them trackers also. And that will give us time to expand, to roll out this program to the provinces. We have to move forward. If you see by now, you must have recognized that we are no longer doing like memos. Everybody in the TCG, we have created mails for you, electronic mails for you. We are going to give them to you. So whether you know how to open your mail or not is not our business. We are no longer sending memos because when you send memos, it's easy, disgusting to see those memos on social media, WhatsApp. So now when we send it to your regional commander, he sends it to you on your mail. If you print it and put it on the social media, we will know. Because the characteristics of the printer or the IMEI number or whatever is there, and we can track you, and that is not good for all of us. So want to let's have some change in this organization. We cannot be static. We are a country which has a very high reputation across the sub-region. We are the Athens of West Africa. We have the best. We are thinking ahead. Most of the things that are happening in Sierra Leone, they are best in the sub-region. So why is it that we fight to go to Sudan, to go to Mogadishu, to go and serve? In those missions, you are getting up at 5:30 to make sure you are not late for the bus to go to your team site. Why is it that when you come back to your country, you want to sleep until 9 o'clock and you go to work at 10? So you, the LUCs, take responsibility. We have set the parameters against which we are going to measure your performance, all of you, including your TCG. So make sure you keep to that level, because when it comes to strategic decisions, we will not be very sympathetic. All of us, we are connected, but the work comes first. So basically, without holding you for too long, it is my privilege this afternoon to formally launch the tracking system. This is the second time we are launching it in the Sierra Leone Police, and I hope this time we'll take possession of this particular system. We'll own it. All of us, we are going to own it. All of us, we are going to own it, and all of us, we are going to make sure it works. This is a novelty in Sierra Leone. Very soon, you will see other ministries, departments, and agencies copying from the Sierra Leone Police. There's no organization in this country which has this system. We are the first who are going to introduce it for the second time though, and we are going to make sure it works. The success of this system depends on your attitude towards the system. So I want to crave your indulgence to make a passionate appeal that you support this system. You, the NUC, it's not you going to sit in that school, your operation officer. If you are changing the and make sure everything is working. And move away from that time when you sit in the office. If I'm NUC in the morning, I know the officer, put personnel in that team. Just patrol around your division in the morning, at least for 1 hour, 30 minutes. Go around your division. Things happen early in the morning and late in the night. But sometimes it is disgusting. Very hard training. You have to call NUCs. So until they have Puyana, they are not even aware. And even the worst is when you are calling, he's not picking. Or he's on the phone with somebody else. When you're on the phone with somebody else and somebody else is calling you, you will know who is calling you. Then you have to prioritize. Me, when I'm on the phone, even if I'm talking to my wife, if I see a call coming in from any of my officers, I put her on hold. I say, let me take this call. Maybe that's the last chance the person has to call you. That's why you hang on the phone. Sometimes you call 4 or 5 times. It's not good. And we have moved beyond the point where we can say, my phone is not charged, I don't have credit in my phone. That is continuable excuse coming from anybody in this category where you find yourself now. You can afford power bank. You can afford power bank. You can afford credit in your card, in your phone. That is why, to solve that problem, we are giving you toll-free phones. And in fact, you don't even need to make a call. But if you need to make a call, you can make a call. So I want to really crave your indulgence to support this system, because definitely you have no choice. You have to support it. This is huge investment. We have discussed this one together with the Vice President and it's in full support of this investment. So as such, I'm sure you wouldn't like to be the black fly in the ointment for this project. No, you wouldn't want to be. But if you so wish, then we can help you to be a black fly. We can paint you the more heaven. So on that note, I want to thank my colleagues for this support, and I want to thank you for coming, members of the 4th Estate. Of course, I've also been a member of the 4th Estate when I was in the university. I was together with Kelvin Lewis, but I chose to come this way because I don't like being beaten up like we are always beaten up. So that's why. So I want to thank you for coming, and I hope you work together.
We expect these people to cover the whole of Aberdeen. And of course, there are areas within Aberdeen that you're supposed to cover. And for an instance where this vehicle is grounded or not by a crime scene, we expect the nearest SLP vehicle from our GPS tracking system to cover that particular crime scene. So this is just Aberdeen. Let me just take you through the operational vehicles.
Good afternoon.
All right, what are we talking to?
We talk to Inspector General of Police, Fire Service.
All right, we meant to understand since the police don't launch a GPS on the vehicle, the divisional vehicles. And tell us more about this occasion.
Well, we just decide for improve on the police presence in the communities and for add to the responsibility of the local unit commander, then for take full charge of the respective divisions by fully utilizing the available resources. And one of the most important resources we get are the transportation resources, in addition to the human power, manpower we get. So now this tracking system, we don't launch today, the GPS tracking system, we get the platform now, police headquarters. Effective today, every operational vehicle in the western area is being tracked. Any already now, we must say this vehicle either is stationary or they move. The rationale for this one and for make sure they step up in their response to distress calls and in their role for delivering the core function of providing safety and security for the people.
All right, one will also begin wonder, say what if it don't happen when we gonna decide for camp or for this other strategy?
Well, now innovation, we Sierra Police, we move with times, not for the ABN. This is the modern age, and policing is dynamic. So this is one of the dynamics of policing. We move from that time, we go from beginning, say, wait for them, call witnesses until they happen to the terminal way we get for day in the community. This system or the strategy is simply taking the people to the policing to the community. Each time we move around, we do the community, we reassure them, like a reassurance strategy, reassure them, say we are there to provide safety and security for them.
You be very emphatic regarding the strength of this gadget. You still touch on that?
Well, now huge investment for install GPS span, 12 motorcar, not a small couple. So that's the collateral for that. The rest of the local unit commander them and the operations officers, including the regional commanders, for say, and for own that one day, therefore look after that property. We won't forget value for the money we spend. That make us say, well, everybody's under responsibility to make sure you look after that one. If you spoil any of that one, or if you're allowed to spoil or to get broken, we police will spoil one property, we buy 5 times. So that's how I've told them already.
Therefore, say this one at the region then.
Yes, this one now a pilot phase of this project. With time, we therefore replicate them to the other regions and the country.
So how sustainable this one will be?
It's very sustainable. For example, now we don't set up the system, the platform, and all the trackers. We don't pay all the services for 1 year. It run. So sustainability depends on the good order of the trackers, and the good order of the trackers and the responsibility of the local unit commanders. We get responsibility for look after them. So it is very sustainable.
So is it that we don't get confidence in our membership?
Oh, well, not to confidence. We have confidence. If we don't have confidence, you will not be standing here to ask me that question because you'll be in your room locked up. We have provided the requisite security, but just added responsibility, added strategy to what we want to do moving forward, especially now we are getting to elections. We want to increase our presence in the communities and we want to increase people's commitment to the job, because when we track the movement of a vehicle, we know we are monitored at any point in time, so you will not abuse the vehicle. That's the reason for that also.
So I need a message to people within construction.
Well, to the people, we don't go one step further also. We don't introduce toll-free line on AfriCell when at 900. Anytime from this day where it talks to 10th November 2022, if you call 900 day and night, you will get us, we will respond. Then you tell us who you did and you challenge. Then we will look for the nearest patrol vehicle near you, we will respond. So that's what we want to do from now henceforth.
As soon as I don't listen to waiting the IG of the Sierra Leone police don't talk concerning the GPS where they can install today in some provisional vehicle them in the western part of Freetown. How important can they be to the police, and also the main reason we make them decide for install the GPS. I mean, I start to smile, say, until we meet again, I say, tata.